Welcome to Growing Couples Podcast. My name is Arturo Paulino.
And I'm Tracy.
And today we're going to start our first season officially. We're going to be tackling 6 questions.
Ooh, today?
Yes.
Okay.
More properly tonight for us, but we're going to be tackling 6 questions, which we're going to put somewhere in this screen. Today, the question we are going to be
so not 6 questions tonight.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm
No,
sorry.
goodness
I think
gracious.
That's what I thought you were going for. That's why I was like, wow.
No, I can't.
Okay, so we're just doing one.
One question.
And then throughout this season, we'll do more.
Correct.
Okay, great. All right.
Would you mind reading the question?
Question number 1 is, what are the top things couples argue about, and how can they be handled differently?
In my opinion, now, as I said, I see couples and also you see couples as well. So
Yes.
I have what I call the FAV Four, the top 4 things most couples argue about: money, sex, in-laws, and children, meaning should we
Parenting.
have children,
Oh.
but not just parenting. Should we have, when should we have children?
How many?
Should we have?
Yeah.
And how to raise them. So those will be the top 4, top 4 reasons I remember couples coming in and out with those 4 problems. So that will be my FAV 4. How about for you?
I would totally agree with those. And then I think I would add time management. So whether you want to put that in with different things, but I think kind of time management with how busy you should be, how much you're involved with, how you spend time together, all those things are also something that creates a lot of conversations.
Agree.
So, would you say that those are true for us?
Yes, but there is a study that came out not too long ago. I'm gonna put the graphic somewhere here that talks about the top reasons couples argue about and how it changes for couples under a certain age and couples over a certain age. And the top 3, I remember 2 because they just stood out to me. One of them was the tone of how they talk to each other. So the tone.
So these aren't the topics that people.
Correct.
This is a nuance now into what kind of elevates the argument.
Yes, that's how I see it. That's how I see it more.
Okay. So tone can elevate the argument.
Yeah, tone.
Interrupting can
Yes, for sure. So tone is one of the things
Yes.
that a lot of couples struggle with, and also division of household responsibilities.
Yes.
So that was not part of my FAV 4. It should be, because I think that's one that we struggle the most.
Oh yeah.
So again, in my opinion, money, sex, in-laws, and children, when to have them, how many, how to raise them. However, if you look at this study, there are 2 things that caught my attention, the top 3. One is the tone and the division of household responsibilities.
Okay. So this is though where I think it's very important to, and this is something that we talk a lot about with couples and when we do seminars and stuff, is bringing in John and Julie Gottman, who talk about the 2 different types of problems. And you have problems that you solve, you fix. It might take some time, energy, effort, but you can fix them, solve them. And then other problems that are non-solvable, and they call them perpetual problems,
Right.
which no one wants to have.
Yeah.
So I think that ideally, and we would think, because for us in our head, we might be able to think of a solution. But again, we're going to use the example of us. You and I think very differently, and maybe how we spend money, how we prioritize things.
Correct.
Maybe decisions and what we make of how we spend time, all that kind of stuff. Definitely household duties.
Yes.
And so when it gets to then who's right or who's wrong, because I think sometimes with solving a problem, what can become a part of that dialogue is I'm right, or I want to convince somebody that, so if two people have a differing point of view, only one person can be right to solve it. There's one solution.
Yeah.
And so then one person ends up feeling like they're going to lose out. And with big things, that can have, like parenting, sex, finances, in-laws, that's why problem management and how we manage that opens up the conversation so that both people have a seat at the table.
Okay. So this is what I'm getting. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Top most popular topics that couple struggle with. I offer 4. You added one more.
Yes.
Yours was time management.
Yes.
And this information about this study from this, I think it was last year, this survey went out that added 2 elements that I think are very relevant. One is the tone, that is very important, and also the division of labor at home, which is something that we've struggled and we continue to struggle.
Yeah.
I think last night we were like, okay, who's doing the dishes? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Like, this is a continual thing.
Yeah.
And how do we tackle that is acknowledging that there are 2 kinds of problems. There are the problems that are solvable and the problems that are perpetual.
So I think yes, that's exactly what I said. And I think it's helpful for couples to slow down and their conversation and their own thought process, and even think of where they're getting their ideas from, what they bring into it, as well as when they think something should be solvable, and actually what that would look like. And then offering if the other person thinks it would be solvable and what that might look like for them. Because sometimes I don't even know if we realize if something is solvable or we have to manage it. Because ideally we would love to solve everything and then not have it be a problem anymore.
Right.
But then, man, we would miss out on so many good TV shows and reality shows and all that kind of stuff, because that's just not how it works.
Yes, and that, for myself, learning of this other gear, which is problem management, that was an aha moment for me as a husband. Also as a therapist, I learned that I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not doing this in my own relationship.
No comment.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I personally feel like a good takeaway would be for each person individually to identify 3 topics that they would say always come up either as an argument or a difficult thing that perhaps they're trying to solve, and recognize that perhaps these need to be switched over to things that they have to learn how to manage. And as each person identifies it, then a fun conversation can be for them to share what they each think those 3 things are, and know that those are going to be ongoing things that they have to manage, especially at this season of life, perhaps.
Right.
And that could be an opportunity for them to connect and draw closer.
Right. So that should be the takeaway. We all have perpetual issues, problems, challenges, all of us, and that is normal. So what we need to do is to acknowledge them, identify them, and learn how to manage those issues, because they're not going to go away. Gottman calls them perpetual. I call them non-solvables. You call them recurrent, but it's the same thing. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, and see you on our next time.
To growing couples, and hopefully you will grow as a couple.